everybody watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 27 / chase race number 1 of Season 10 NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, a.k.a. Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Coca-Cola 500 at Coca-Cola Superspeedway as we are getting set to go 26 laps of racing here at this big 3 mile restrictor play racetrack that should create some interesting racing as well as some interesting strategy. But with that being said, before we look at the lineup, let's look at how the chase grid is looking. So the chase grid, this is the first race in the chase, and the grid goes as is. Michael Norman got the points lead as a result of having 3 victories, so he got 9 bonus points. Then at actually a 4-way tie for second, each of these drivers got 2 wins this season. Matt Skoenberger, Tim Walsh, the pole sitter for today, Jesse Setti, and Charles Sanford all got 6 bonus points. Then in a 2-way tie for third in points, as far as the seeds go, are Steven Guerrero and Pichu London both got 1 win in order to qualify into the chase. And then the next 3 drivers made it in via points: Austin Mongold, Joshua Collard, and Dylan Young. The next 2 were the 2 wildcard drivers, Matt McIntyre and Connor Morgan. And then the final driver in the chase made it in via the last chance qualifier last week at Dragonette was Seth Cole. So that's your 13 driver chase for the championship field. As far as outside the top 13 in the chase, you got Tanner Sullivan in 14th, followed by Carson Gum, David Rivera, Sean Galligan, Dorian Facepuncher, Anthony McCrory, and Kyle Matthews. So with that said, let's look at the lineup. Starting in the last row, ironically, are 2 of the chasers, Michael Norman and Connor Morgan. Starting in the top 10 is chaser Jesse Setti, and right next to her is John Arndt. Row 2 is Daniel Olson and chaser/rookie Matt Skoenberger. Row 3 is DJ Curtis and chaser Matt McIntyre. Row 4, Carson Scott and Ryan Acosta. And then row 5 is chaser Tim Walsh and Nathan Hudson. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for the Coca-Cola 500 at Coca-Cola Superspeedway.
Drivers, start your engines.
As the cars roll off for their 1 pace lap around this giant track. So the big question coming in today is who's going to get some momentum going into the next race in the chase, which we will return to a controversial track. We will be returning to Kentucky Speedway, but I can only hope that those issues that we did have last time around at Kentucky Speedway won't happen again. So the actual chase schedule after this week, we head to Kentucky for the Marvel Studios 400 in honor of the next series name coming up for Season 11, the Marvel Studios Cup Series. Then we return to an old favorite, Thornton Raceway, for the Survivor Series 300. Then we return to Texas Motor Speedway for the NRA 500. Then we return to Yas Marina Circuit for the Taco Bell 300. Then we come back to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Bank of America 500. Then we head to Talladega for the Geico 500. Then we come back to Lime Rock for the Mountain Dew 300. Then we go to Phoenix for the Subway Fresh Fit 400. And then the season finale at Kansas for the... I'm not sure what the name of the race is yet. Pace car into pit road, which means it's time to boogity 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 go racing. Oh, and right as soon as I was getting ready to say we got a huge wreck occurring. This is the big one at Coca-Cola, and man, some hard hits were given right there. Chris Washer gets nailed. More cars wrecking. Points leader Michael Norman, the chaser, was involved. And Joshua Collard goes upside down after coming down off the banking. Another chaser I saw was in there. Pichu London was involved. Collard, who's a chaser, was in there too. Dylan Young, another chaser, involved. I believe Connor Morgan may have gotten a piece of it, but he got through it pretty well. William Duncan was involved in this, as Nathan Hudson takes the lead from second place Tim Walsh. But man, that was a big wreck that took out quite a few cars. Chris Washer was in there. And quite a bunch of those cars in that wreck were chase drivers, so I guess Coca-Cola is picking their victims pretty carefully, it seems. But let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought the caution out for the first time today here at Coca-Cola Superspeedway. Well, it looks like it all starts from this four-wide battle, and it looks like it's going to be Chase Oliver who's going to come up into Ryan Acosta, into Matt Skoenberger, so Skoenberger got a tad piece of it. He ended up going around. And then the action's going to get started right there when you see Pichu London, James Qualls, James Shelley, and Johnny Gardner go around or get involved. But I think Skoenberger, all he does is just slide it around and then he keeps going. But let's see where the rest of the wreck happens. Right there is where London comes up into Chris Washer, and then Sean Galligan was there, and that wreck looks very similar to what happened to Dale Earnhardt in the Daytona 500. Washer came back up, and then there was Galligan, and that's where more got started. And we'll take a look at that next portion of the wreck here in just a moment. It was after the Galligan-Washer hit that Young and Duncan were involved. But then up ahead, as they were starting to try to slow down, Charles Sanford gets involved. Same with Pichu London. Alex Ferranti was in there, and there's where Collard gets involved. I don't think Connor Morgan got into this whatsoever. But now as we look at Joshua Collard to see right there, he touches the apron. Wow, Michael Norman's car hops a couple times, but there you see Collard's car roll over up onto its roof. And as a result, that's most likely going to put him out of the race, and that's going to be very costly for him moving forward in the chase. And right here is a pass for the lead under caution between Nathan Hudson and DJ Curtis. So with that said, let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Coca-Cola. Well, after that first caution for that big wreck, we got cars that are out of the race include Dorian Facepuncher, Pichu London, Dylan Young, Sean Galligan, Chris Washer, Joshua Collard. So not a whole lot, but there are a few cars a lap down or two, and I think they were either in that wreck or there might have been a little scramble on pit road, and I think that's how Dorian Facepuncher ended up out of the race and why Dylan Thoreau, John Arnn are a lap down. I think Duncan's 2 laps down because of damage repair that they had to do. But anyway, so pit stops happened, but Nathan Hudson's still your leader. Second is John Cittadino. Third is Austin Mongold, who is currently the highest running chaser. Fourth is Steven Guerrero. Fifth, Jesse Setti. Sixth, Anthony McCrory. Seventh, Tim Walsh. Eighth, Matt McIntyre. Ninth, Seth Cole. 10th is Kyle Matthews. 11th is Daniel Olson. 12th, Austin LaPlante. 13th, Matt Skoenberger. 14th, Carson Gum. 15th, Blaine Keys. 16th is DJ Curtis. 17th, Charles Sanford. 18th, Preston Blord. 19th, David Rivera. 20th, Jessica Shelton. 21st, Carson Scott. 22nd is Dougie Shears. 23rd, Connor Morgan. 24th, Tanner Sullivan. 25th is Chase Oliver. 26th, Ryan Acosta. 27th, Michael Norman. 28th, James Shelley. 29th, Trent Dunham. 30th is Johnny Gardner. 31st is Dylan Poteet. 32nd, Alex Ferranti. And 33rd is James Qualls. And John Arnn's on pit road, so that's why he's a lap down. What about Dylan Thoreau, though? That's the other question. Or is he out? Yep, he's out of the race. So, and with William Duncan restarting on that inside, it's going to cause some trouble for these drivers, as we now got a battle for lead right off the gate with 20 laps to go between Cittadino and Hudson, and looks like Cittadino's going to go on around the 7. And now here comes Steven Guerrero right now, the highest running chase driver, and he's wanting to already go up to the front of the field. Because after all, every point counts in this chase, so he would love to lead a lap so he can get that extra bonus point that could be helpful to him trying to win the championship. I see a couple more chasers trying to work their way up there. Matt McIntyre and Seth Cole. Austin Mongold still hanging in strong up there in the top 10. Tim Walsh, same way, and Jesse Setti. Matt Skoenberger trying to make a comeback after he got slightly involved in that big one. He just spun it around and scraped the wall a little bit, but nothing that damaged his car in any big way, so he's going to be able to run back up there to the front of the field, potentially. Oh, and we got a caution, and that's for James Shelley, Alex Ferranti going around. Might have been another result of 4 wide gone wrong, potentially. Sheldon actually was also involved, maybe, or is she just coming into pit road? And Anthony McCrory leads the lap this time. Back to the caution. So with that said, let's go ahead. Well, real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought the caution out for the second time today here at Coca-Cola. So we're going to see this wreck start right here, and they do go 4 wide, but it's right there. James Qualls comes up into Alex Ferranti, into Trent Dunham and Michael Norman, and then Ferranti goes spinning, and then Shelley tried to get through underneath, but didn't notice Trent Dunham was there, and that sent the 97 car going around. So Michael Norman again gets involved in another incident. Man, this has just not been a good start to the chase for the points leader. But luckily no major damage happened during that wreck. So with that said, let's take you to the restart at Coca-Cola. Well, no cars are tired out of the race after that last wreck, but Jessica Sheldon is a lap down, but she's up to speed. William Duncan 2 laps down, who's trying to get back up there, but he is damaged. More pit stops took place during that caution, so it depends on how good on fuel these drivers are going to be on. But DJ Curtis, actually a few cars actually stayed out. I think the top 3 stayed out on track, and that gives DJ Curtis the lead. Second is Tanner Sullivan. Third, Dylan Poteet. Fourth, Matt McIntyre. Fifth, Steven Guerrero. Sixth is Anthony McCrory. 7th, Seth Cole. 8th, Kyle Matthews. 9th, Daniel Olson. 10th, Carson Gum. 11th is John Cittadino. 12th is Preston Plord. 13th is Tim Walsh. 14th is Austin LaPlante. 15th, Nathan Hudson. 16th, Jesse Setti. 17th, Austin Mongold. 18th is Matt Skoenberger. 19th, Carson Scott. 20th, Dougie Shears. 21st, Chase Oliver. 22nd, Connor Morgan. 23rd, David Rivera. 24th, Johnny Gardner. 25th is Blaine Keys. 26th, Trent Dunham. 27th is Charles Sanford. 28th, Ryan Acosta. 29th, James Qualls. 30th, James Shelley. 31st is Michael Norman. And 32nd is Alex Ferranti. So when we get to the line here, it will be 14 laps to go, so we'll be 1 lap away from the halfway point here today. And already in the first half, we've had 2 cautions. And it's been mostly due to 4 wide going wrong. And you wouldn't expect 4 wide to be a problem here at this racetrack, because it's very, very roomy, but I guess they're just going more aggressive right off the gate, and I don't see why they're doing that. But then again, what can you do at this racetrack? But DJ Curtis gets off to a pretty big lead, but that's not necessarily a good thing, because here's a run from help from Jessica Sheldon, who's a lap down, with Matt McIntyre and Steven Guerrero. 2 chasers trying to work their way back up to the lead. A lot of cars going in shuffles to try to find some real estate to make some moves in order to get better spots. Matt McIntyre moving up into the second position. And I think there's a wreck going on. Oh, and a couple cars. Oh, multi-car accident. Now the big one, and Carson Scott goes upside down. Oh, and another car. Oh, a car hit the pit wall, and that was Ryan Acosta. Dougie Shears went on his side for a moment. Caution is out once again. And I'm trying to see who was all in this. Matt Skoenberger, Chaser, was involved. Oh my goodness. Austin Mongold, another Chaser, was in there. Charles Sanford, I think, got a slight piece of it. Same with Michael Norman. Trent Dunham was in there. Connor Morgan, another Chaser, was involved. Man, this has not been a good race for quite a good amount of chase drivers, but holy cow. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought the caution out for the third time today at Coca-Cola. Well, here's where the initial wreck starts. It starts up towards the front of the field. It looks like Austin LaPlante either came down or Mongold just got LaPlante in the left rear, but I think it was Mongold getting into LaPlante's left rear, sends them both hard into the outside wall. Wheels picked up off the ground. But for the most part, most of these drivers avoided that wreck, which is unheard of. But then up ahead, I don't know where it's going to start. We'll go to Matt Skoenberger and see what happened after the LaPlante-Mongold incident took place. And Skoenberger almost hit the 16 and the 48 right there. He manages to get through. Oh, Dougie Shears got the apron and came up into William Duncan, sent them all into the outside wall. And then Acosta, I think, got turned by James Qualls. David Rivera goes for a spin around. And then right here, you're going to see Acosta actually goes upside down along with Carson Scott. So we had two flips happen right there. But they both land on their, Scott landed on the side of Skoenberger's car. Shelley hits the pit wall pretty hard. And then right there, driver's side first, into the edge of the pit wall, went the 10 of Ryan Acosta. And then right there, Dougie Shears going upside down, and then comes back on all four wheels momentarily. Let's see how much of an impact the 10 car had when he hit the edge of that pit wall. Let's see. Well, he was slowing down quite a good bit, but still pretty fast. About 70 miles per hour. That's still a pretty heavy lick into that pit wall. It looked like right there from the ricochet effect of spinning back up in front of Blaine Keys is what sends the 10 car going upside down. But what about the 29? Let's see how in the world he went upside down. There you see where, man, that took out 2 out of the 4 Team Heel Motorsports cars. Kind of hard to tell. Let's go to helicopter view to determine how. Oh, it was right there, a hit from James Shelley that sent the 29 upside down, and then it looked like it was going to barrel roll even more if Matt Skoenberger wasn't there, but luckily he was there to keep him from having violent barrel rolls. But man, this is the biggest wreck we've had all day today, and it takes out quite a lot of chasers. But let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Coca-Cola. Well, after the big one took place here in Coca-Cola, quite a good amount of drivers are out of the race now, and they include James Shelley, Blaine Keys, Connor Morgan, Michael Norman. Matt Skoenberger's actually still on track 2 laps down. Alex Ferranti, Dougie Shears, Austin LaPlante, Austin Mongold, Carson Scott, Ryan Acosta, and William Duncan out of the race. So only 2 lap machines left. Well, Skoenberger's still on pit road. They might take him out of the race, but Matt McIntyre is your race leader. Second is Steven Guerrero. Third is Tanner Sullivan. Fourth, Jessica Shelton. Or actually, no, she's a lap down, I forgot. Fourth is Preston Plord. Fifth is John Cittadino. Sixth is Carson Gumbs. Seventh, Tim Walsh. Eighth, Daniel Olson. Ninth is Anthony McCrory. 10th, Dylan Poteet. 11th is Nathan Hudson. 12th is Seth Cole. 13th, Kyle Matthews. 14th, Jesse Setti. 15th is Chase Oliver. 16th, David Rivera. 17th, James Qualls. 18th, DJ Curtis. 19th, Trent Dunham. 20th, Charles Sanford. And then 21st is Johnny Gardner. And looking for updates on the 80. Yes, the 80 car is officially out of the race. Man, that is... let's see how many chasers are out of the race. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chasers. More than half of the chasers are out of the race. So you only have 6 chasers left on track. And they are McIntyre, Guerrero, Walsh, Setti, Sanford, and Seth Cole. Those are the only ones who are still left in the race, as it's now 9 laps to go. Still a long way to go here today at Coca-Cola. Now cars are definitely going to have to try and play a little bit safe racing here in order for them to not cause any more problems, and also for them to try to make moves up to the front a lot easier. And Matt McIntyre trying to do some mirror driving already, but now he's got Preston Blordez inside as a battle for the top spot. And it's 3 wide for the lead at the line. Imagine if that was the finish. That would have been amazing. But Carson Gum with the run on the inside of both Plord and McIntyre. And now Carson Gum goes to the front. And whoa! There they go again! Oh my goodness! Anthony McCrory just took one of the most vicious hits I have ever seen. Matt McIntyre, Steven Guerrero, 2 more chasers involved. Caution out for a 4th time today. Oh my goodness. I can't believe what we just witnessed there. And oh man, oh, I thought there was going to be a spin around right there with the 32 and the 18. But it looks like Carson Gum leads them to the line. And there you see the smoke erupting from the 8. That really signifies he's done for the day. And that's a tough break. My goodness. I just can't believe the impact of McCrory's car spinning around and went upside down head on into the outside wall. Just holy cow. Well, let's go ahead and take a look and see what brought the caution out for the 4th time today here at Coca-Cola. Well, right here, Anthony McCrory was trying to get a run underneath John Cittadino. He couldn't quite do it very well. And right there, sort of similar to what happened last time with LaPlante and Mongold. McCrory gets Cittadino in that left rear, and then right there, just victims of circumstance were the 24 and the 8. And right there, after McCrory hit the wall hard, he barreled and slammed into the front and into the windshield of John Cittadino. And actually, the rear end was riding along the top of the wall and into the catch fence. Luckily, this was only a 5-car deal, and pretty much most of the field was able to get by. But I tell you, the driver who came the closest to getting involved, watch the 15 of Tim Walsh right here. Right as McCrory came back up, I don't know how in the world he didn't get collected in there. But right there, man, that is a heavy, heavy hit that sent him upside down and slamming into Cittadino and into the catch fence. Let's see how fast McCrory was going whenever he hit that wall going upside down. 209 miles an hour and already up off the ground. My goodness, that is one of the hardest hits I've seen all season. Just hope he's okay, and I hope everybody else is alright, but man, oh man, that's 2 more chasers that are most likely out of the race. So we'll only have 4 chasers left in the field. Walsh, Setti, Sanford, and Seth Cole. As the laps wind down, let's go ahead and take you to what could be our final restart here at Coca-Cola. Well, as a result of that last caution, more cars out of the race include Preston Plord, Steven Guerrero, John Cittadino, Anthony McCrory, and Matt McIntyre. So Only 17 cars left on track, 16 on the lead lap. Carson Gum is your leader. Second is Tanner Sullivan. Third, Daniel Olson. Fourth, Tim Walsh. Fifth, Nathan Hudson. Sixth, Chase Oliver. Seventh, Seth Cole. Eighth, Kyle Matthews. Ninth, Jesse Setti. 10th, DJ Curtis. 11th, David Rivera. 12th, Charles Sanford. 13th, James Qualls. 14th, Johnny Gardner. 15th, Trent Dunham. 16th, Dylan Poteet. And Jessica Sheldon 17th, a lap down, but close up to the front. So right now the highest running chaser is Tim Walsh, and it's going to be 3 laps to go here when we get to the line. So if we get another caution, the race will definitely be over. So hopefully we can just finish this Wreckfest out green, and hopefully we can get a clean finish. And both Sullivan and Carson both got off, or Carson Gum and Tanner Sullivan both got off to a very good jump on that restart, leaving behind everybody else. Daniel Olson in third. Tim Walsh now going to move down to try to go by Olson for third. Tim Walsh trying to do all he can to gain as much spots as possible, because he is the highest running chaser at the moment. Then Seth Cole's kind of running down the 15th to try to make something work. Both Carson Gum and Tanner Sullivan battling really hard up here at the front. Now it's going to be 2 laps to go now here in the Coca-Cola 500. 3 wide for third with Hudson, Walsh, and Olson. And Olson nearly scrapes the wall. That could have been a disastrous problem for the 9, but he's going to be able to hold on to it, keep it straight, and he's still going. James Qualls, Johnny Gardner in the pit road. I wonder if that could signify that these guys may have to pit. I don't know. That's a big time question there. Are any of these drivers going to come in the pit road, or are they going to try and risk it? If I were them, I would risk it, because it's going to be 1 lap to go. The white flag is out here at Coca-Cola Superspeedway. White flag, 1 to go. We might have a 3-car battle for the win. Hudson, Sullivan, and Gum. Gum has the lead, but here comes Sullivan. Oh, but Hudson on that left rear. Oh, wow. How in the world did they not run into the back of Johnny Gardner? Holy cow, that was close. That has to be the closest thing I've seen all day. I thought Walsh nearly getting in that last caution was brutal, but holy cow. And Tanner Sullivan has the lead. Nobody's making a run on him, so it looks like it's going to be all the 18 who barely missed out on making the chase. He is back, and he's going to get his first win this season. Tanner Sullivan wins the Coca-Cola 500 at Coca-Cola Superspeedway. As we nearly had disaster on the last lap right there with the 18 and the 18, the 7, and the 77, but holy cow, they managed to make it work. And Tanner Sullivan, his gamble paid off, and he comes away with his first win this season. A man, like I said, who barely missed out on making the chase, but he comes away with a good win to kick off the chase. But let's look at the rest of the results. Carson Gum was so close to getting that win, but he's going to come away with a solid finish in the 2nd spot. Highest finishing chaser, Tim Walsh, comes away with a solid run in 3rd. So it looks like, oh, and we got an incident with David Rivera and Charles Sanford. Jesse Setti, excuse me. I'm not sure as to why that happened. But anyways, like I was saying, Tim Walsh, whoa, what the heck? Anyways, Tim Walsh, the highest finishing chaser in 3rd, so great run for him. Nathan Hudson with a great run in 4th. Solid 5th place run for Seth Cole. Great 6th place finish for Chase Oliver. Solid 7th place run for Daniel Olson, the highest finishing rookie. DJ Curtis with a great run in 8th. Kyle Matthews, solid 9th. And Jesse Setti coming away with a top 10 finish in 10th. So 3 chasers finished in the top 10. Rest of the lead lap cars were Dylan Poteet, Charles Sanford, and Trent Dunham. Next 4 finished a lap down: David Rivera, Jessica Sheldon, Johnny Gardner, and James Qualls. Everybody else was out of the race after all the mayhem that ensued. Preston Plord, Steven Guerrero, John Cittadino. Anthony McCurry, Matt McIntyre, James Shelley, Matt Skoenberger, Blaine Keys, Connor Morgan, Michael Norman, Alex Ferranti, Dougie Shears, Austin LaPlante, Austin Mongold, Carson Scott, Ryan Acosta, William Duncan, John Arndt, Dorian Facepuncher, Pichu London, Dylan Thoreau, Dylan Young, Sean Galligan, Chris Washer, and Joshua Collard. Well, that does it for our coverage today here at Coca-Cola. Next week, we head back to Kentucky Speedway for the Marvel Studios 400, but let's hope we don't come out with crazy glitches next time. But anyways, until then, here are your results, rookie points, and regular points heading into Kentucky. And this is Levi McIntyre, signing off.
Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious!